more interested in trading gold today, though. I think GJ's probably gonna jazz around, whip around a bit.
Jazz around? It went fucking salsa.
Yeah.
Damn, look at these things here. It consolidated the same way and then boom up yesterday. Consolidated the same way and boom. Let's go. This support was held yesterday at New York, and it was held again pre-London, and it got broken. 1 hour has left. Yeah, it's left a wick.
It should hold. 4 hour looks really good.
The only thing is, if this gold is going to go down, this daily is going to continue moving down. But if it doesn't break below, like, you know, if it doesn't stay below 1487, then there's a very high chance that this might be flipping bullish for New York session. That's kind of what I'm like looking at. I took the buy anticipating that this high right here that the candle made, let me show you. Okay, so I took a sell anticipating that this high at 1487.20 is the high of this current 30-minute candle, and it shouldn't go above that.
Okay. So you're looking for this 30 minutes to close bearish?
Well, yeah, because I mean at the same time looking at it doesn't has a lower wick. And there was this area here, support, which is being respected. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. And the 5 minutes are flipping bearish.
Oh, you entered, Rakeel?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this next 15 minutes going to be the key as to whether this hour closes bearish or not.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Did you sell that? Question mark. Man, come on, mate. Come on. Yeah, I'm in the sell on gold. Like, I'm not up a lot. I'm up like 5 pips.
So you have a good interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you take it on the 5 minute?
No, I didn't take it off they just measured my stop. I saw my stop is going to be like, you know, 8-9 pips above that wick, and I took an entry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I never look at, oh, I'll take it on the 5 minute or 1 minute or then no. I just measure my stop, how big my stop is going to be, and how much I'm willing to risk, and then I take the trade.
Okay.
I'm gonna put stops at break even, because if it starts to go up, I don't want to go in a drawdown now. You know, because I entered before the candle closed bearish. So if I go in
15 minutes just closed bullish with no wick.
Yeah, exactly. So it's better to put stops at break even, because when a position goes from a profit to drawdown, that's, I mean, you should look in a mirror and you should say, man, you suck. That's kind of what you should tell yourself. You suck.
Yeah, I say that all the time. When you lose positions, you're stupid.
Yeah.
dollar is a dollar.
A dollar is a dollar.
Yeah, it's still a dollar.
Well, Ted, your prophecy got fulfilled there on the daily.
Yep. On GJ?
Yeah.
Yep, I caught it.
You
Nice.
called the GJ then?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, yesterday we marked up this level here, reached over there, and then the next one was this whole area. Exactly, it was the same exact level.
Prophecy fulfilled.
Prophecy fulfilled.
I think everybody caught GJ. Now everyone's on the GJ train. They're like, well, I don't have to sell GJ. I just have to put a buy stop in, and then when someone announces something, it goes up 100 pips.
Yeah. Because now it's doing like retesting.
Yeah, everyone caught GJ, it seems like.
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, someone in the chat here, 220 pips. Wow.
Damn.
Very nice.
Yeah, I caught 100, so.
Very good. Yeah, I was in the gym this morning, wasn't even paying attention, and then I was just, my phone started going off with all these, it's a deal, it's a deal.
It's a deal.
Alerts.
Yeah, I put a buy stop in for future news events right over here. This is my buy stop is sitting right here right now. So when there's a news event, it'll basically fill this area here.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I got buy stop there.
Yeah, so and that is like around 141,500.
Yeah.
There's a nice resistance right there, which is the weekly resistance which we tapped into, so we should return there again.
Although everything that's coming out since the deal has been announced is bad, so.
Yeah, that's why I put it high enough, because I mean, if it is bad, then all happen here is this will just drop back into this range. But I'm looking for like someone to come out and say, oh yeah, everything's great, and then
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we support the deal.
that's right. Yeah, so.
It's typical they're doing it at the weekend though.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, it's sort of the same thing what Trump did, but then with Trump, we didn't get a lot of movement over the gold didn't gap that hard. Like it was supposed to gap a little bit more, but it didn't.
Morning all.
Morning.
Good work on GJ, Ted.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it was. I mean, when we remember we talked about that, we mapped out levels and we talked about 141, and 141 basically brings us back to normal. Like GJ right now is back to normal. I consider it a normal pair again, because even if there's no deal made, the furthest we drop is back to 138.
Yeah, we're not getting 35s and stuff.
Yeah, you're not getting like 135, 133 anymore. Like the flash crash wick is gone. So anywhere like originally, like back in January, I talked about this. Anywhere between 137 and like 132, if you took buys and you could just hold your breath, you were good, because it has to go back into the corrective range. The corrective range for GJ is basically on the high side 147, and on the low side I would say maybe 139, 140. So we're on the low side of GJ.
Yeah, I'd like to see it set around 43. That's what I was kind of aiming at. The next one for me. So there is still potential.
Oh yeah, well the idea here is if you get past 141, 142, you could probably swing it all the way to 147. It's going to be a very, very hard swing, but the idea is the fact that we're going back into the corrective range, we're eventually going to have to return to 147. Think about it that way. Like if you look at the weekly or even the monthly, you can see where the top levels are. It's 147.
Yeah,
So,
weekly 43.9 would have been the next target.
yeah, I have 143.7 after 141.
Yeah, no, it might be a bit of a push because that was probably the bottom level.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's just funny because we talked about this all the time, and it's like, damn it, I should have just followed my analysis at 135.
Yeah, we did say it's the same as when we talked about gold at night. What was it?
1550.
or something.
Yeah, 1285 going to 1300, and then
Let's just hold it. You know what? We should just hold the next one.
It's weird though, because I think the psychological aspect of that is, I mean, you sort of look back and you say like, how can you be that right?
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't make sense for you to be that right. Like, to call a move from like 135 back to 141, it doesn't make sense for you to be that right. But it makes sense on the charts because cosmetically it has to go back up.
Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of a rarity, I suppose, having such a big drop down and like originally, especially the Brexit stuff, for the last however long to get back to that. You know, it's got to get back there somehow. It's just when we had to notice the turn, and that was when we stuck because everyone's calling bottom, so I could 37 and stuff.
See gold stopped at break even.
Yeah, no good.
No good.
No good. No bueno. Can't hear Ted or Simon. They're getting quieter. Yeah, we're getting thrown deeper into the hole.
We're here, we're waiting. I'm watching, watching gold at this 1487. I mean, it looks like it's rejected on 1 hour and 4 hour support at like 1483, so we could break higher. We get above 1487.
Yeah. The only good thing about GJ is that it has created a high.
Yeah, it's waiting a retest. So
Yeah, now it's just gotta create some sort of a support.
Yep, this is the perfect scenario. So basically,
yeah.
support below, like stop loss below here. Put your setup for your buy stop here. Take profit over here, and there you go.
Yeah, because I think I woke up and like see, bad man, 200 pips again, but it retraced back down, so we have a chance.
Yep. That's what I like. I like when they give us opportunity and they show us where they've already gone to. That means they're going.
It's too easy now. Yesterday was a bit tricky. Today, nah.
Just tapped again 140 and it retraced right back.
So this is a 70 pip range here, 75 pip range.
So if this supports get created, we might see some.
I hope I stop if it starts to go strongly up.
Yeah, if support gets created, we might not see where we will see a bullish move.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like what we created.
Do you use trailing stops on your buy stops?
But if you see on the lower time frame,
140,
2 times, so
350, or even 140, 200. Look at these candles are big. Yeah, it's a 24 pip candle. That's like my one trade for the day. Just all I want to do is just, yeah.
how do you see gold?
I see gold in a situation over here.
Yeah.
Gold broke support. It's coming up to retest this support, but I mean, I took a sell earlier. I took a sell. It went in 5 pip profit, and then I closed it at break even. I guess I was wanting for this to turn bearish, but it didn't. So I see this at like a retest area here, because gold did the same thing. It made a low. Yeah, made a low. Kind of want to see like a resistance, some bearish candles form.
Hey Roger,
Hey,
do you ever close positions at 5? You don't trust the You're only looking for 10 pips.
it depends, you know, on situation to situation. Every situation is going to be very different than the.
You fucking.
The fuck is going on over there?
What's happening?
All right. Yeah, it depends from a situation to situation. Like, I can say I'll never close at 5 pips, but maybe the next trade I see something that I'm forced to close at 5 pips.
Okay.
Plus this range here is big range, like 20, 30. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Cause like gold is trying to set up in a way to fall, rejecting this area, and GJ is trying to set up in a way to, like, you know, make a little bit of a bullish move, rejecting this area here at the bottom. Right here. These are the trades I love to take. When price makes a high or a low, then tries to create support to move back.
Just a matter of patience then.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, patience.
It's nice to see a little wick on the bottom of the 30-minute on gold. On the top top.
GJ, a bullish bias coming down to retest. Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the same thing. But the other thing is, since they haven't really signed anything for Brexit, it might correct the move.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So, you know, like, if we're looking for buyers, obviously gotta wait for candles to go bullish. Oh, nice, Chris.
I ended up with break even, to be fair, that one. But it's the same levels I used all week. It was very similar to yesterday.
Oh, I was speaking with you and nobody was answering because I was muted and I was like, what the fuck?
Raja, after that
Such
GJ
interesting
leaving
stuff,
that
yes.
huge wick,
Wow, what?
I don't see it getting filled shortly. Do you see it going for a pullback? I don't know. You know, if it's gonna, I mean, if you target this wick fill, this will be very, very, very aggressive. If you target that wick fill, it's gonna be very aggressive. So you gotta break down that whole wick fill in certain chunks. You know, one of your chunk could be, maybe you wanna grab this part here. This could be one of your chunks. One of your chunks could be up over here. You know, when you start crossing above this area, then the trade gets more aggressive as it moves up. You know, but then this chunk down here, this is going to be the perfect opportunity. This one here as well, perfect opportunity. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And when I measure this range over here, this range is what? This is a, oh wow, it's a 40 pip range.
Yeah.
It looks mad doing it that way.
Yeah. 5 minutes starting to push up over here now. Gotta wait 2 minutes.
Would you say a buy stop above those 15-minute candle would be valid?
Yeah, it could work. It could work.
So a buy stop above the 30-minute week.
Yep, it could work because then you're in that territory. But then you'll have to see where you're going to place your stop. I think a good like a stop could be around like 140.
Yeah.
Which is 20 pips from now. If you want to be aggressive, your stop can be below the 5-minute candle, but that's just really, really, really aggressive. Someone said any trades. I know, Sean. All right. Options. Remove.
What's your plan for today, Raja?
My
Waiting for the
plan.
news, or
What's that?
are you waiting for the news or any opportunity just because news are 8:30? So.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like watching to see if anything happens, anything picks up.
I think honestly with gold, if we don't get a lot of movement right now, like today or tomorrow, next week will be the move down.
Yeah.
I just looking at the weekly candle and it's just sort of sitting at indecision, but that doesn't mean that we're going to change direction. It'll probably just mean we're going to get a little bit more of a push to the downside next week.
It's nicely holding that support.
Yeah, because like 1484 is a huge support, so it's very, very tough to break that unless there's some catalyst.
My main goal for today would be buy stop on GJ. I could do it in 10 seconds if it spikes up that fast.
Yeah,
and I would be done.
that's what I'm waiting for too. I'm waiting for GJ to pull right back up again, and I want them to have some stupid announcement.
Yeah, it'll be fucking bloody awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I think anyone who's been buying the pound right now has looked like a god because it's moved so hard. But I mean, it just made sense, right? You just keep buying it until it tells you that there's no buying.
Yeah. And there is no yet point of no buying. It's still buying.
That's right. Yeah, it seems like that's the thing. These high volatile pairs, when they get into trend, you rarely lose because all you're doing is you're just buying with the trend again.
Yeah, following the trend. That's
Like gold made us buckets like a couple months ago. Now GJ's making us buckets.
That's what I think. Because of that way it moves now, we could potentially do that thing a bit for longer term trade. You know,
but GJ moves so fucking fast. You can't even catch it if you're not here in, I don't know, half an hour. You would miss it all.
Yep, that's the
You
problem.
need to be, yeah.
Well, we know when Brexit was happening the first time, we watched moves happen all the time like that. I mean, it moved 100, 200 pips easy. But now I got smarter and I recognize that. So now that there's movement coming, I plan my attack out accordingly.
Yeah.
Because we missed all those. We missed a lot of those moves when Brexit was going on, like the original discussions and votes and stuff like that. We were missing that all the time because we weren't putting in buy stops, because there'd be unexpected news and we would miss the move and we would catch like maybe 10 or 15 pips. Yeah, now it's just basically, now I put buy stops above like wicks and things like that, like into those ranges, and someone will say something stupid and it'll push it up like 60 pips. I'll grab that, or 80 pips, and then I'm done.
We were trying it wrong before. It's just like back to what's good.
Yeah, that was exactly it. You can't trade GJ with market orders. Like, you can't turn around and be like, hey, I'm going to take a buy here and do what I'm doing. It's more of like you have to look and look long term and put your buys above certain levels so that you can catch the move as it starts to pull, because you don't want to get caught in a market order and then there's some stupid news event that pushes you the opposite way.
I don't know if you saw that. When you use buy stuff, do you, I wrote it in the chat, but do you use like say for instance, like yesterday, how it happened so quick when we were looking at gold, would you use like a trailing stop on your buy stop?
I've tried to use it before, but now it's more of just, once I get above 30 or 40 pips,
yep.
At this point, I'm just sort of happy, and I might just move my stop up a bit. I'm not, like, my range for like good runs like that, like hard runs with gold or GJ, my goal is to get 50 pips. If I can get 50 pips on like a hard move, then I'm happy. So like, for example, like this morning I woke up and I was like 100 pips in profit. So like my stop loss was moved to 50 pips, and then I ended up closing it because it was just pushing all the way down, and I rather just close with that, with the gain. So I closed with 90 pips or so. But anything above 50 pips on hard moves like that, I'm happy with. So I don't really move my stop or my trailing stop, or like I don't have a trailing stop because I already have a target. Like market orders and like moves during the New York session, if I can get between 5 and 20 pips, I'm happy with that. Like I don't really care. Like those are my targets, like between 5 and 20 pips on like a regular market move.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, so if I get that, then I'm happy. Like those are always my targets. If I can get 5 pips, I'm happy. If I can get 10 pips, I'm happy.
I was just ripped 40 pips.
Really? Oh yeah, the weekly just flipped bullish.
Oh, so annoyed. I was like, great, we're going into this next zone, wait for a pullback, get in, and it just took off.
Nearly closed as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait for 14.9.
Well,
Oh,
got
shit.
which is pretty strong. So whether we get there, we come back again. Back between 90 and 92 is pretty.
Well, good thing I closed at break even there on gold.
Yeah, I didn't.
Gold pushed up hard.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
Yeah, GJ's pushing down too.
GK's had a nice little jump down as well.
Yep, got sells on this 5-minute candle.
Yeah, nice work.
It makes sense. Like all the negativity coming out around this deal now suggests it's not going to get voted through. So unless you hear otherwise,
Yeah.
it could fall all the way down.
Simon, what was the name of that dude you had on Twitter that did the announcement yesterday? That
Oh, I
guy?
don't know. I've just got loads of. I follow loads of like reporters and stuff.
Yeah, so do I, but I didn't get that one. It must be one I've not got. I did
No.
see it come on Sky, but it was about 3 minutes after what you said, I think.
Okay.
We'll start again at 7 p.m. AM.
7 a.m. pushing down. May you please look at my chart and let me know what you think. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm looking for our trend line, as well as a possible sell at this area or resistance at the TP. They appeared to because of it doesn't pick up. Yeah, it looks good. Euro AUD. You're looking for buys and then you're looking for sells.
I think that gold move is in response to that previous candle that's gone down to 83. As such.
Well, the thing is, 1484 is a very strong support, and you can see that 14 at this point now 1491 is a strong resistance, so we're in a huge range.
Yeah. I see what's coming back from.
Yeah, like it literally tapped 1491 now and rejected off of that again.
Yeah.
But it's weird because we should top out at 1491 and there should be a bearish candle created at that point. I don't think we're gonna, like, if this candle pulls all the way back, that's really weird.
Yeah.
It seems like there's more momentum to the upside at this point.
What was the news? I've not looked at the news. We had some news, didn't we?
Got building permits later.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Looked at it.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Is Roger there?
Yeah.
Coach,
Hey.
look at GCAT at 3 in the morning. Nuts, bro.
GCAT probably moved 1 billion pips.
Look at GCAT at 3
Did
o'clock.
you quote that? Did you quote that?
Look at the 3 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
did you
yeah.
quote that?
Just.
It moved 1 billion. Oh, 200.
Whoa.
I closed out early because I had a TP, but Jesus.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, Jesus.
I'm telling you, 90%, 85%, that shit.
Wow, look at that GJ pullback.
No drawdown.
This move on gold is weird.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
Coach, have you taken any trades today?
Yeah, I took a gold sells at break even. I took GJ sells. That also closed at break even. I mean, it went in profits, but then it came back up, so I closed it.
TJ looks like it's rejecting that zone for a buy.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dimitri.
Good morning.
man, Constantine yesterday came on and he said Asian session bear buys, and it went up. Literally.
It's so funny. It's like everyone was selling, and then I said I was buying, and then everyone just closed their trades. They're like, "Oh, bro, you made me lose -5 pips." Like I didn't do anything.
UJ daily resistance, sell zone, buy zone. This looks good. Break above, buys. Break below, sells. How big is this range? Oh, this is like,
I don't like the consolidation there.
yeah, it's like 20 pips.
Yeah.
Could you see what's going on with USD CAD? No, you need to send a chart. Just like Justin Senislo sent a chart. Oh, can't open the chart. Good try though.
Can't Simon shed some light on that gold move.
Uh,
I don't get it.
I don't know, but I don't think the 15-minute candle is going to close with that big a wick. So it may fill up a bit. I don't know, but it's a bit of a strange one.
For gold, I honestly see sells. I don't see buys.
Oh yeah, I'm looking to sell myself, but I'm just looking
Like look on the daily. The way that range is like bunched up together underneath the EMAs, it's just ready for a drop. Like a huge drop.
Not looking at hours.
Yeah, that could be.
So it must be a nice push up before. But I'm sure.
This GJ, I don't know. I have this weird feeling that they will not. This whole move is gonna correct itself. Because it's.
I mean, over the weekend or just.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I was
coach.
I was expecting it to hold above 140 for buys. But now it's coming back down, and it's also coming back down to this support here to the left, 139, 780.
Yeah, that's why we're taking buys. I think the next. Oh no, that's further down.
Is this a fake out?
139,
Coach?
200.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Roger, is that a fake out?
I don't know.
It looks like you're right. If it closes back in the range.
Yes. And that would make sense for it to correct the move. Because most times
I'm
it has
thinking
done that.
GCAT sells for New York, but who knows? Because the Brexit was bad. The news, you know.
Doesn't make sense for GG to close underneath that. This is a first time back testing that zone.
I see what you're saying. So you're thinking it's just testing it and going back up to test the new high?
100%.
Okay, yeah. I would think that too, since momentum is so bullish.
Yep.
Well, like I said, with that weekly zone in the 4 hour, it's created a massive wick on that 4 hour, and I don't think it's got bottom one or bottom one.
Wouldn't be surprised if GJ pulls back for the rest of the week now because it hit that brother.
Pulling back means bearish, right, Ted? All the
Yep.
way. Mm-hmm.
Because we hit the upper zone there on the weekly. So now what'll happen is there'll be a pullback for the rest of the week, which I'll never sell GJ at this point. And then next week we'll go bullish again to fill that area. So if we don't fill this 141 range right now, we'll probably fill that next week. So this area is my smoking gun. Basically, that's going to get filled. So I'm either way, either this week or next week, this area is getting filled. So I'll wait for that.
I think it needs to really see like a decent wick on that 4 hour 10.
Well, it's just more of just when you think of the chart cosmetics, it's not necessarily what you need to see. It's just how the story should play out now, right? We've had bullish movement all week.
Yep.
People are leaving the market towards the end of the week, so it's very rare that we've probably seen the high for this week, and now at this point there's no news, then basically we'll probably sit in this range. It won't do anything, and then next week it'll probably push starting off fresh when new orders get into the market. And I really think, unless somebody does some major announcement today, I don't think we're going to hit that high again, just because of the fact that we're towards the end of the week. Yeah, you always need a wick, right? Like if you look at GJ Weekly, there's always been a little bit of a wick towards the end, and that's just a pullback. So I mean, I think at this point we may have reached the high, and we're just going to sit around here. I mean, but if there's a news announcement, then yeah, we may pull right back in again. There might be a huge push. But when you look to the left on the weekly, we just tapped into a major zone, and when we tap into a major zone on the weekly, there's always a violent pullback. And next week we'll probably continue in the same direction.
Yeah, I think that's massive.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a buy stop at 142.20.
GJ is ripping up here, fam.
Ripping up.
We'll see.
It ripped up. This is Dimitri's rip up.
That's ripping back down, fam.
This is everybody's rip up. This is Dimitri's rip up.
Nah, but the way GJ moves, I get 2 amps, right?
Yeah, lay off the coke, dude. 10 pips on GJ is like the rest of us snoring. Yeah, you guys do that now all the time in the chat room. It's rather annoying. Oh man, it's moving hard. I look, it's done like 2 pips. Like, everybody's looking at the 1 minute chart, I think, in the chat rooms.
Yeah, that gets me enough.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that. It filled up my whole screen. It moves like 3 pips. Yeah, the other day, like every time I get a message and I look and they're like, oh, it's moving, and it's like 1 pip. I'm like, what the hell are you guys looking at?
Especially like 2. Oh shit, this thing ripped.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I'm looking, I'm like, what happened? What happened? And I look and it's like, it didn't do anything.
You know, the worst thing is, because it's probably one of the pairs we look at anyway.
That's right. Yeah, it's always gold or GJ. Someone says, oh, it's ripping up, and it's like, it moved like $1. And it's like, really?
So I have to go check it. Every time.
Man, Ted, you almost got finessed yesterday.
Yeah.
You made someone's day yesterday almost.
I know. Oh man, I canceled that order so fast. I can't believe that. No, man, it was a good deal in my mind.
Oh yeah.
It was a good deal. I have an older furnace and an older AC unit. So the guy's like, you know what? We'll update all your heating and air conditioning and charge you a monthly fee. And I'm like, okay, like, well, because the way it got explained was what I'm paying on my hydro and my gas, I'll be saving with updated like material, and it just offsets it.
Yeah.
So instead of paying $60 to the hydro and gas.
Yo, it sounds like a script I've used.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you guys. And then I was like, oh, it's a scam. Like, I don't understand how it's a scam if all I'm doing is I'm just diverting funds from one person I'm paying to another person I'm paying.
So the script must have been something like this, that with the new equipment, the money you're going to save, that's going to offset the cost you're going to pay monthly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you got new equipment and your savings that cover the cost.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Tell me how that doesn't make sense.
Man, you're such a bean. Honestly, that guy would have said, "Oh man, this guy had a Porsche and a Tesla, and I finessed."
He did, because I had both my cars on the driveway because I was working in my garage, and the first thing he said at the door, he's like, "Wow," he's like, "What do you do for a living?" And I'm like, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the TV screens all day.
Yeah, exactly. I watch my screens all day. No, I didn't think it was a scam. I thought it was legit. It made sense in my mind. I'm like, I already pay $60 a month to hydro and gas company. So why not pay $60 a month to these guys? They're gonna monitor my furnace and my air conditioner and fix it anytime it breaks, and they're giving me updated equipment.
I think it's the length of time though. Isn't it? It's always like for 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Hey Ted, what do you tell people you do? You're a businessman, entrepreneur, or trader?
I just say I work in finance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, those deals are for people who can afford it.
Yeah.
Well, of course I can afford it.
Well, yeah.
I just, because I looked at it, it's like, obviously I have to buy a new furnace. So a new furnace is going to cost me like $3,000, so that's no big deal. And my AC unit is good because I just recently got that. But it was just more of the technology, like I don't have the smart home stuff because the furnace is older, right? So I was sort of like, okay, well, you know, like if they're going to install the smart home stuff, because I tried to install it myself and it's not compatible. So you have to rewire the whole HVAC system.
Oh.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
Easy
yeah.
to pay someone directly with one-off fee.
Yeah, that was the next thing too, right? So it's like, so now I'm just gonna go out and buy a furnace and do everything myself because these guys embarrass me. So I'm just gonna spend more money and just buy everything brand new, like I should have, and then just. But then it's like I always worry about doing that, like putting like brand new stuff in, right? But it's like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Why do you worry about it, boy? It'll be fine.
You made it yesterday, so.
What's your furnace? Is that thing that does your water? Is that
No, furnace is the heat, so it creates the heat. So you have your so I have a water heater obviously and a furnace, and then the AC is outside, like the AC unit is outside.
Oh, I see. I thought when you said furnace, that's like a fire. That's like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We might put it there. You have a thing here like does everything all in one. But that you can monitor them ever so good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just
Every day.
yeah. It just made sense to me.
To be fair, it sounded like a good deal from what they were saying.
Well, yeah, it did, and that's why, like, when I turned around and I checked everything, and then these guys were yelling at me in the chat, I canceled everything, and then I checked online, and all this stuff's illegal, and then I drove by the guy, and he's driving Mercedes, and I'm like, holy cow. Because I went out to dinner, and I drove by, and he was still on the street knocking on doors, and I see his car, it's a white Mercedes. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, this buy stop I have because if price breaks the high of the previous, this candle, it should start ripping up. That's the only reason I have a buy stop.
Yeah.
Have it a bit higher, but yeah.
If you break even twice, you will take another trade? Oh yeah, because I'm at 0 today. So that's why I have a buy stop. So I'm not gonna. Oh wow, Felicia's paying $250 a month. That's a lot of maintenance.
There you go, Ted.
Oh, $250 a month. Oh no, I was only going to pay $60. That's a lot. $250 a month. What are you keeping with $250 a month? See, so well, that's scary because like when I did the math, right? So how I calculate if I should buy a warranty. This is how I calculate if I should buy a warranty. I always think of, okay, how much does the actual item cost? And then over 2 years or a year and a half, how much will I have spent on that warranty in relation to the cost of the unit? Now, the units always update every year, so I also add a depreciation percentage into the cost of the new unit. So say, for example, a furnace is like $3,000, right? So what I'll say is, okay, for me to break even on this idea, I would basically have to have maintenance for 3 years on this unit, right? So that would basically be the cost of having a $3,000 unit installed. So then what I also figure is I say to myself, okay, what's wrong with my current unit? Nothing. What's the average lifespan of a furnace? It's usually like 6 to 8 years. So technically speaking, I'm paying for, potentially a furnace over the next 3 years in maintenance, not buying a new one. But as soon as I have maintenance done on it and it's included in that price, now I'm offsetting the cost, and actually I can't get a furnace for like $2,000 or $1,500 if I'm doing maintenance. So that's sort of what I was doing in my calculations when I did that. Yeah, so like it's the same thing. Like I'll never take an extended warranty on a computer, right? Because in a year, computers were garbage, and it'll cost me like $300 to fix a computer or $200 to fix a computer. That's like almost like 40% of buying a new one. I might as well buy a new one. Like it makes no sense not to fix an older computer.
Yeah.
You get upgrades and stuff anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like they asked me on this machine, like I have this machine, I spent $2,500 on it, and they asked me if I wanted a warranty. I'm like, no. I've had no problems with it, and the only thing that I've ever brought it in for was I brought it in for, it was like $100 or something like that. There was something wrong with my graphics card. It cost me $100.
No, that's what happens.
Yeah, so I was like, no big deal.
What graphic cards do you use?
I have a GFX 4-port. I have a 4-port graphics card. So I run 3 monitors on my graphics card. Got a 32-inch monitor for my main screen, and then 2 24 inches on each side.
Sounds like an NVIDIA.
Yeah, it could be. GeForce.
Yeah, the GeForce. Yeah, the GeForce. It was a green box. It was the top of the line.
Nice one. It was a green box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the same one now, Ted.
Yeah. It was a GFX like green box. It was like it was basically the top gaming card that you could buy, because when they built my computer, I said I need good graphics, and I need good speed, and I need good RAM, and I don't need really a hard drive. So they're like, okay, we're gonna build you a partial gaming computer because you want the graphics, and with the what is it, those display ports? The display ports give you better resolution, and make sure you use actual monitors instead of TVs, because the TVs won't be able to handle the resolution like a monitor would.
Yeah.
So that's why all my monitors run on DisplayPort and off that graphics card.
Yeah, no, it's nice because like my card has 2 ports, so I can only have 2 monitors so far.
Yeah.
I'll probably have the addition to be able to put another card in with another 2 ports as well though.
What's this?
More.
Gold. Potential target. Enter that. Oh,
Just watching gold right now.
this person took a sell on gold.
It's creating support on the 5-minute. I'm just watching that.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well.
I think, potentially buy stock above this, like 5-minute candle or whatever. If it flips to fill that wick, I think it may pull down to like back to 1487, and then potential buyers in there maybe if it holds.
Back on its support level.
Right now is nothing.
Yeah, EJ. People are asking about EJ. EJ is just, I don't know. EJ, I don't like this range on EJ here, cause like you got some resistance here, and then you got some more issues at 121. Look at a 30-minute.
That counts as nothing.
Yeah, so the 30-minute candles, if it was going to push down, you would have expected it to. So just looking. 5 minute is continuing to hold this kind of 1488 area for now. I don't know. I can see it pushing up, filling that wick on the 30 minute, but it's a risky one. There it goes.
It's not really an entry there, though.
Well, yeah, you could have entered like a sell on the 5 minute with a real,
Yeah, on the 5, I suppose. Yeah.
The 5 minute and then fill the wick to 1491.
yeah, real tight stop.
Yep.
1488 even.
It's a pretty quiet morning. I don't really. I like gold to fill this wick on the 30 minute, but it's just we're coming back into a resistance level again. That's the only problem. Raj, I'm screwed. I took a sell on GJ. Ooh, that hurts. Well, hopefully now you understand that taking a sell when all the candles are bullish doesn't make sense. People make the same silly mistakes every day. They're not patient. They think that they can call tops or bottoms, and then they get hit hard and they don't want to release their entry because they're afraid now it's going to flip back and they're going to get profit and they would have missed out on it.
Oh, someone took a sell.
Yeah, that is exactly what happens every day. Somebody takes a position, it goes the wrong way, and their ego won't allow them to just admit that they're wrong, and they hold and they hold and they hold, and then they're too deep in drawdown, and what happens is now they're hoping that it reverses so that they can get out, and it's not going to reverse. That's the steps to blowing your account. So step 1 is you take an entry which doesn't match the overall trend of the pair that you're trading. Step 2 is you don't have a stop loss. Step 3 is you go deep into drawdown, and now you don't know what to do with the trade. And step 4, you hold the drawdown, hoping that it's going to reverse because you think magically one day it has to change direction. That is exactly the steps to blowing your account. And then what you do is as soon as you take that massive loss, now you panic and you look for another opportunity to go the opposite way, because now you're like, well, since I lost going in a sell position, I'm going to take a buy position, and the buy position hasn't set up yet, and you get caught in a range and you lose more. And that is what happens. People do it every day. Instead of just taking a small loss and just saying, hey, I was wrong. It's okay. You know what? Here's the great thing about trading. And you don't even have to show anybody your trades. Like, you never have to show anyone. Like, if you notice, the last 2 weeks, I've done an experiment on Instagram. I haven't shown any of my results for these live streams because I didn't want people commenting to me. I didn't want people talking to me. Oh, you did great trade. Thank you this, thank you that. Because at this point, I'm like, no. I said, all this does is this encourages behaviors that are not prudent of people that are new traders. If I show all my results, because technically in the last 2 weeks, I've lost 4 trades and I've won a bunch. And if I showed that, then people just praise me and say, oh, that was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I know deep down inside, there's other people looking and saying, oh man, I need to catch those positions. So I realized that I could possibly be encouraging incorrect behavior for new traders. So I did a test, and the last 2 weeks I haven't posted any of my results on the live stream. I've said where I've taken trades, I've posted stories, but I've never posted any of the results. So I think that helped people. Yeah, I like to do experiments.
You're a mad scientist, dude.
I am actually, yeah. I just no one noticed, and I realized nobody noticed. Nobody asked me this week. No one said, "Hey, you took a win with GJ. How big was the win?" Like, nobody noticed. All they cared about was what they learned on the live stream. So I felt good about that.
That's impressive. That's good.
I got out minus 260. Well, Rudy, that's okay. You closed the trade, and now what you do is, whenever you've taken a big loss, here's a good idea. So when I used to play poker, and I used to take big losses playing poker, so what I would do is I would lose, say, like I would lose 2 or 3 buy-ins, right? So if you take a big loss, the idea afterwards is not...
trigger specific behaviors to like the one that you did, which is
Is that conversation with us?
Is that always the case?
No.
Thank you. Every single time you take a big loss, like, so say for example, this person named Rudy here took a loss at minus 260. Now, you're not going to get back that 260 pip loss in one trade. So what you need to do is you need to sit back and you need to break up that loss into manageable trade wins. And how you find that is now go back to see every win that you've had in trading, figure out your average win size. So the average. So say for example, you had a 260 pip loss, which is huge, or $260. Okay, so your average win, maybe it's only like $40 or $30. So you know that to get $260 back, you need to have probably like 6 or 7 profitable winning trades. And what you can do is you aim for one profitable trade each time to offset that loss. And then if you see that, if you take a big loss, write down the loss and write down the number of trades you need to take on average to erase that loss. And keep that piece of paper in your pocket, keep that piece of paper on your desk, maybe write it on your phone. And every time you take a trade, remove a little bit of that loss. Because what that's doing for you is obviously your account's going to grow back again, but it fixes the mental error that you took in the loss, and you realize that, hey, every single time I take a positive trade now, if I had reduced my risk and I had only taken a $30 loss or a $20 loss, this one trade would have gotten me back to positive. So what you're doing is you're reinforcing good behavior by looking at the loss and examining how long it's taking you to get back that loss. And it's not, you're not rushing to get back that loss. You're managing the loss because you know that on average your wins are only $15 or $20 or whatever the number is. you're making sensible trades now, because what you're looking to do is recoup that loss instead of chasing it. Because the worst thing you can do is look at a $200 loss, if that's like a loss that's extreme for you, and say, okay, now my next trade, I need to turn around and win back $200 in one trade. No, break that loss down into manageable chunks and say, hey, over the next 6 trades, I'm going to aim for my average win rate, but I'm not going to go deep into that loss anymore, but I'm just going to be able to slowly grind that back. And now you'll feel comfortable. And what it's going to teach you is it's going to teach you that, hey, like I said, if you only took one loss at $30 or $40, you would have been back already in the green, and you would have been fine, instead of having to dig out of this deep red hole. But the worst thing you can do is look at a $200 loss and be like, how am I making this $200 back? You have to have a plan to make that back, and you have to get the plan information from previous results. So if you take a massive loss and you don't have any wins, you have to evaluate, like, hey, what the fuck am I doing? But if you have average wins and you know that it's going to take you 5 wins on average or 6 wins on average to get back those funds, you have to plan to do that. And that's your little plan inside of a plan. So this is like your appendix to your original plan. Like if your original plan is, hey, I want to get 3% daily, now you're getting 3% daily or 1% daily, but it's to offset that loss. And what it's going to teach you is it's going to teach you that, hey, next time I shouldn't take that big of a loss because it took me a whole fucking week to get that money back, when if I had just closed the position at a stop loss, which was reasonable, I would have already been in the blue or in the green or whatever you want to call it, and I could have moved on from that. And when you keep doing that over and over again, either A, you're going to quit trading because you're going to realize taking big losses is stupid, and all I'm doing is recouping my big losses, or B, you're going to break the habit of trying to be right and just accepting that, hey, even if I take 1 or 2 small losses, I'm winning more positions on average, and that will always bring me positive at the end of the day. So that is what I would say to do. Oh, someone just passed out on the stream.
No, that's my keyboard. It's not working as I hoped it would.
Is that the new one?
Yeah, it's the new one. Doesn't presses the keys, misses the space bar, like fucking headache.
Yeah, we need one of them.
Is it wireless or?
We need one of them trading calculators. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that the keyboard you posted yesterday or 2 days before on the Instagram? Wireless, like mouse and keyboard, or it's not that?
Yeah.
Keyboard
Go return it. They will give you a new one. Say it doesn't work. Space doesn't work sometimes.
You can't have 2 keyboards on the same desk. That's the problem.
No, I just have to spend a little bit more money to get a better one. This was like $30, a keyboard and a mouse.
No, you know, my keyboard, I bought this Microsoft keyboard for $10. Like just the plain Microsoft keyboard, because I wouldn't be using it for too much, but then I got a very good mouse. I got a Razer mouse, but it's wired. I don't get a wireless. I will never use a wireless device for that.
Yeah, I have those. What Razer?
It's a Abyss 2014. Abyss 2014 or something like that. I don't know. It's an older model. It's like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, I got a wired mouse too in case the wireless one stops working.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Mine is similar. I will be older. I have dead adder.
Alright. See, anyone's trying to buy GJ, you.
Yeah.
That's why I have a buy stop to buy GJ. I'm not gonna buy it right here.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
the way it's forming for a continued push down.
Yes, agreed.
I think gold's looking like it's going to push up. It's formed this support on the 15-minute now.
Yes, agreed.
This 15-minute candle, the last 15 minutes of the hour, should push up and fill some of this wick, but I don't know.
Let's see.
Well, good
More
good
info, I mean.
good thing
So
is
do you think the GJ won't tap the, I don't know, 140 zone today again? Or
I just for like what Raja did here with his buy stop. I have a buy stop in a similar region. Just
Yeah.
because if it goes down, here's the situation. So here's once again what we run into when you're trading a hard trending pair. So GJ right now is trending bullish. We can all agree on that. The problem is these retracements or these pullbacks can be 30, 40, 50, 60 pips, right? But
yeah,
you can trade those, but for me, I know the habits of GJ because you can look as an example here, like a perfect example. We don't have to go far. Like look at this candle, right? The candle itself is whatever range it is. That's like what 205 to basically 139 700. So that's like a 50 pip range, right? But the thing is, all it did was it tapped into this area here. That for me is not a sign of a sell. That's the problem. Even though it was 50 pips, but the question remains is where were we going to start retracing? Were we going to retrace over here, over here? So the problem is when you start trying to sell GJ from up here, you don't know if we're going to only stop here or if we're going to continue up. It's too hard to do that when we have this trend up here. And what I've always said, and I've always done this, is I rather just sit back and wait for this to finish off and do what it's doing. And then if, example, like we always say, if GJ then turns around and does something like this, if there's a wick that finally taps into here, something like this, and then you get your candle moving back up that way. So you have that movement there. It's just for me, like I said, it doesn't make sense for me to try and take a sell on this retracement here because I don't know how much the retracement is, and I know that this is probably the future target, and I know our trend is bullish. So all I have to do is I just cheer this on. Like this for us is great. Like this section over here, keep dropping. Because what this allows you to do is let it keep dropping. Because because when it drops lower, you can move your buy stop if you want. You can move it a little bit lower down, and then when it flies back up again, you've collected more. So technically speaking, instead of collecting just from here, right? Or let me change the color here. Okay. Instead of collecting from here, I can now collect from maybe over here, knowing that we're going to go and we should fill this area because we have momentum to the buy side.
And we always get filled.
Yeah, they get filled in momentum. We know that. So if you know this is your target and you're targeting that, having GJ drop like this is great because all it's allowing us to do is get a better entry to go to the upside instead of chasing this downside and being like, oh, it's dropping. You know what? It's the same thing that happened with the euro pound when the euro pound went on that huge rally. It's like if this is going to drop, we need candles that are going to look like this, that are going to be in this direction dropping. And you need a massive rejection on the top, which is bearish. This here, this massive rejection on top, look at the size of the bullish body on this. Right? If this was a red candle, then I would say, yeah, sell the shit out of GJ. Just unload. Because what you've done is you've created all these orders up here, and we have bearish momentum now starting down over here to do that. Right? But the thing is, there's not bearish momentum to do that. Because all what we're doing is we're doing something similar to this. Look at this candle here. Right? We see this candle here. So if everyone sees this candle right over here, this was your target, right? See all this? Drop, 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 and then it flew all the way up. So what's going to happen here? We're going to have the exact same thing. Drop, 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 and then fly all the way up, right? But then you can say, well, Ted, I could have caught all this over here. Great, but look at the size of this move, right? So if we take the size of this move versus now the size of this move. Do you see the difference? So you have basically, you have this little bit here, that you're guessing going on a reversal versus this bit over here, which you aren't guessing, you're just going in trend. You know, so that's sort of how I evaluate things. Is like, do I want to guess and take a smaller position, or just go in trend and just take the bigger position when it flips to the current trend?
Yeah, but
And
it's
just
so
so you know, right
hard,
now-
so you need to buy stops.
Yeah.
Or you need to watch and have always a buy position, at least small one.
Yeah,
That's
just
too risky.
yeah. I just have a buy stop. I'll wait for it
Yeah.
to sort of sit.
The interesting thing about that is that the whole, like what you just explained, Ted, is that the overall the structure has not been broken. It's not like, okay, all of a sudden we're going to go down. We're still in bullish territory. So I think most people just forget, or not even forget, or don't even know how to even look at that as a whole, as opposed to just looking at the small, quote unquote, pullback. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but that's what it is, because people they want to trade every day, right? And they want to get something out of this because they don't want to sit. And this is what we've done right now. Like Raj has taken 2 trades right now, or 3 trades, and now I've all hit and break even. I haven't taken 1 trade. I closed my GJ trade from overnight, and it's like we're sitting here for the last hour and a half. Haven't done anything. Just looked at charts, did some analysis. There hasn't been really any movement because everything's sort of stuck in a range. Gold, we thought we were going to hold support at 15-minute. It just broke. Maybe it'll break further up, but there's really no trades, right? But people are trying to make something out of nothing when it's like, man, you shouldn't have to, because this week we caught like 40 pips here, 30 pips here, 20 pips here, 100 pips here. Like, you should have already banked enough money this week off the live streams and following trades and just taking simple ideas that right now you should be sitting with your hands under your ass going, hey, if I don't find anything till Monday, it's no big deal.
Just have a chit chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just patience. This is a patience thing, honestly.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, if you were on the live stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
you
which I
caught
did.
big
Yeah.
moves. You caught big moves already, and they were in relation to your account. So you maybe made 5% or 8% on your account, or maybe 10 or 20% on your account. That's more than enough for the week. Like, if you turned around and you only made 1% on your account this week, that's okay. I would ask how that was possible, because you should have made a little bit more than 1%, and maybe that's why you're looking for trades. But anything, if you made over 5% on your account this week already, you should be on conservative mode.
Yeah, I've
Like-
actually lowered my risk already for that.
Yeah.
Because of that reason. I know I've made enough this week, but I'll still, if there's options, I want to take the options, but I've lowered my risk, so I'm not going to really damage anything if I do take a few losses.
Yeah, like literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday should be your accumulation days, and then Thursday, Friday. Well, Thursday can be an accumulation day, but Friday especially should be capital preservation day, and even like Thursday mid-morning should be capital preservation day. Like, just if you're not seeing anything of interest and you've already done anything over 5% this week, you should be in like hoarding mode. Like, the bank vault should go up. Like, you should realize that, hey, like, I'm not really going to try and trade anything.
It's the same as using a lower risk on a month. Well, I do. Use lower
Yeah.
risk on, which was a shame this week, to be fair. But still, thanks.
Well, actually, so this Kivo Nasi person just asked a great question. He said, how the fuck is Uncle Ted telling us to be okay with 5% when man's trading 100 lots? Well, mans who trade 100 lots did that by doing what mans just said to do. So if you follow what the mans who did the 100 lots said, chances are you'll eventually be trading 100 lots too. So sometimes
It's funny, but
sometimes
it's
the
right.
man's is right. Yeah.
The problem is that I don't. Well, I mean, obviously you're a millionaire, so you're able to eat that risk. You're able to get that risk. But like somebody that's trading, let's say, $10,000, you're not going to trade $100 lot. And another thing I mentioned too was that they overcomplicate things, so that's why it's always so confusing. I mean, just draw your simple support and resistance, and then just follow your rules, and I think you should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's because people don't see the long term, and this is the same thing I preach every week. Is
Can I
and
jump
yeah, go ahead.
I want to drop one motivation quote. It's designed by me, but when I started Forex, I was really bad. I was losing and stuff like that. I was feeling like quitting. And I just felt like, imagine if you invest in anything, like anything, 1,000 hours in anything. If you are not professional, then you are completely moral. So if I invest 1,000 hours in Forex, I must be pro. So, and it won't happen fast, but eventually it will. So I just keep grinding every day, and it will come. But if I hurry up, I'm just going it down. I'm not upgrading myself. I'm downgrading myself.
Yeah, the thing is, at the end of the day, and this is what I was going to say, is the 5%. I understand exactly what the gentleman was saying there with the 5%, because he's looking at 5% of $100 account, and he's saying that's $5, and that's not going to get him anywhere. And I wholeheartedly agree with that statement, but at the same time too, you have to look and you have to say to yourself, once again, if I had a larger account, would I be trying to risk more to win more because I'm comfortable with the amount that I'm winning? The problem with a lot of people have is they believe that Forex will solve their issues when it won't. But if you looked at 5% over the next, say you do 5% in a week over the next year, that's a decent amount. But what that will also allow you to do is what you'll realize is that there'll be instances where that 5% in a week is maybe 15% because you caught a bigger trade, but you didn't risk more. The opportunities were just a little bit easier that week. And as you get older as a person, maybe you add more money to your trading account to allow you to get a little bit more money as a return. The biggest problem is people are trying to turn $100 accounts, $500 accounts, $1,000 accounts into these miracle runs, but they're not understanding that the miracle run, your first, like if you look at a compounding strategy, your first year compounding like $1,000 account is garbage. Like you have to admit that. But then your second and third year is where you pick up all that extra momentum, right? Like when you compound $1,000 to 100,000, you're like, oh man, that was a lot of work. But to go from 100,000 to $1 million is very, very fast.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah.
People have to start realizing that the smaller amounts when you compound are much more difficult to build. But once you get your account over $5,000 or even over $2,500, you should be making on average like $200 or $300 a week. That's like $1,200 a month. That's like a salary for somebody. Yeah. But you need to get there first, and as you get there, you will gain the skill to maintain a $2,500 account, to maintain a $5,000 account, because anybody that can run a $100 account up to $500 can run $500 to $50,000. The problem is when they get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, they start to worry about the money because now they're like, oh man, I need to make 3,000 this week because now, like that, to keep my account going at that pace, where when you started off with $100, you were just starting to trade and you were just trying to trade profitably. When you get to the $5,000 point, the $6,000, the $10,000 point, now you're worried mentally about, hey, what if I don't make money this week? My account's still at 10,000. But you don't realize that you just worked for the last 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks to get your account to that point. So like, don't worry about it, because one swing on a $10,000 account can move you up 2,000 or 3,000 very quickly. Like you can take a single lot position on a $10,000 account. It goes 20 or 30 pips. That's $300 like in your pocket with no risk, right? And the thing is, people just don't see that. They don't see that idea of like, hey, today I made $500 on a $10,000 account. That's more than what anybody usually makes in a daytime job. And when you have a $100 account, you're only making $5 or $10. You're pissed because it only buys you a coffee. But the idea is the process is still the same.
Yeah. One day you'll buy a croissant.
Yeah.
The next day, croissant and the coffee. The next day, lunch.
It's almost the same now. It's not about, especially when you get to a level where you're a little bit further in, It's the
Yeah.
physical side of the money loss as well. Well, I have to overcome that. It took me a long time to get used to the fact that I'm in drawdown, for example, a lot. It looks worse. It's still only 3 pips, for example, but it just looks worse because it's a bigger amount of money. And that was a big thing for me that it took me ages to kind of get past. But it's still the same process.
Yeah.
And if you are experienced trader, sometimes if you like this week, if you see GJ move, why not risk probably 10% on the trade? If you are confident it will go up, you could make 100% in the trade. So.
Well, the other thing is too, even to your point, like we talked about it earlier, was, you know, like say for example over here, right? You take a buy over here. As you take a buy, you know, when this position here is in profit, you know, start risking your profit now up over here, and then letting that compound too, right? There's lots of opportunities here. It's like when you scale into positions, if you start taking buys over here, as it starts going up, you can add positions over here, and then you're like, hey, now I have even more profit, and then close them all up over here, and you've done really well for yourself. You know, it's just, you know, people are trying to chase things which to me don't make sense. And if you need money, and I say this every stream, if you need money, go get a job. You have to go get a job. I'm sorry. Trading is not going to solve your financial problems when you're starting off with a $500 account or a $1,000 account. It's really not. Like, honestly, just get a job, use trading as a hobby, make your 5 or 6% a week. You know, like you have a $1,000 account, you make 10% in the week, you get $100. Go out and buy drinks, celebrate your wins, and look at and just keep growing slowly. You know, like take out $50 and celebrate a win. Like make weekly withdrawals on that $1,000 account, and just be happy that, you know, you're offsetting. You can buy a pair of shoes, you can go out to the bar, you can have a dinner, you can pay a cell phone bill. Like just start offsetting your costs. You're gonna feel so much better about yourself because you're seeing a positive reward from what you're doing. And at the same time, too, you see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. The fact that you're profiting from Forex, and maybe one day you don't have to work anymore. Like that's basically what you need to start doing. Is just turn around and do simple things like that, and just allow yourself to profit that way. And it sucks. Like I'm not gonna lie. When I was in my 20s, I wasn't rolling in cash either. Nobody is. That's life. Like you got to get used to the fact that in your 20s you're gonna be dead ass broke.
Yep.
Get used to it. Like honestly, it's not a big deal. Like it's not a big deal to have no money in your 20s. Like it's honestly not a big deal. It's not a big deal if you live with your parents. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares. I know you think you care. The only person that cares are people that don't care about you. That's the difference. You know?
Thing is, when I started off with, I think it's like $500 or something, or pounds, whatever you want to call it, I was aiming for like 0.5% to 1% a day. That was it. And that's all it was for a year. I thought if I could do that for a year, that'd be a good little return. And that's what it was. And that was just like a part-time thing, you know, like 2 or 3 hours in the evening. So it adds up, as long as you keep going.
Well, it is. And the thing is, the biggest thing I tell people is, you know what, if you're concerned about how much you're making trading, don't tell anybody.
Yep.
Like I had friends that used to play poker online, and they grinded like dollar tournaments, and they were making $5 every win on their poker tournament. And you know what? They didn't tell anybody how much money they were making. They were just saying, hey, I just won another tournament. I just won another tournament. And you know what? It removed the stigma, because these guys were playing with guys that were multimillionaires that were playing big tournaments. And you know what? Everybody was on the same level. Everybody was like, hey, great job. You won a tournament. It's hard to win a tournament. Congratulations. They didn't care about the dollar figure. It was the fact that they won.
Super hard to win a tournament.
Yeah. And if you're concerned about trading, don't tell anybody about what you're trading. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell your family. Just do your own thing, because you're putting pressure on yourself that's not warranted. Because what you're trying to do is, your friends are working at McDonald's or, you know, Krusty the Krab or, you know, the Krabby Shack, and, you know, they're hanging out with SpongeBob, and you're trying to tell them that, hey, I don't need to go get a part-time job because I'm trading and I'm a great trader. And the first thing they ask you is, well, how much money you're making? And then you have to sit there and justify why you only made $5 today.
Yeah.
and then you look like an idiot in front of your friends because you're at home making $5 and they worked for 6 hours at the Krabby Shack and they made like $100 and they're laughing at you. And now you feel stupid. So what you have to do is you have to prove them wrong. So you turn around and full margin your account and you blow your account and now you're worse off. So when your friends ask you what you do, you can say, hey, I'm just learning how to trade. I'm doing my best, whatever. And then eventually when you surpass them on their hourly rate, then you can start maybe talking to them a little bit more serious and be like, hey guys, remember last year I was only grinding like for McDonald's cheeseburgers, but now like I'm able to buy steaks, you know, something like that. It's just, you know.
I'm in gold buyers, by the way. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, gold was holding it at the 50-minute support.
Yeah, I was considering. I said a chat from that spot.
Nice gold buys.
Yeah, gold's gonna fill that wick. Seems like it.
Yeah, it will. I think it will.
Well, just said earlier, it came down, retested 1487, rejected it, and up we go.
I've been discussing with the Surge yesterday. What's the point? Like, it's better to aim to get a successful trade. I don't know, to be sure that you will catch 10 pips or 15 pips, and catch that, and that will be your win, not to look how much money you made. If you focus on the win, on the trade, not money, it will be easy. It doesn't matter if you have $100, $1,000, or $100,000. So it's easier to focus on the wins and.
All right.
TP
hit.
Nice.
Yep. Nicely done.
GJ corrected on the move.
Pips. I got GJ said I got 15 pips.
GJ
nice.
just is bouncing back down to 139.
Yeah, GJ did correct the whole move.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
It does this all the time. Every time there's a big Brexit news and they haven't signed anything, it's just a rumor. It just corrects the whole goddamn move. Damn, Daniel.
Yep.
So would you say that buy stops are no longer valid?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you don't want to hold it, you don't have to hold your buy stop there.
Yeah, so DUP confirms it will not support Brexit deal.
See, the market structure had to correct and DUP had to say that.
I said yesterday, it's deal or not, it doesn't matter whether he gets a deal, like, it's up to the government whether it's a, you know, pass.
Yeah, we said it's going to be passed. That's going to be the sticky part, isn't it?
And it's not, it doesn't sound like it's going to get passed, so we're going to be back to square one. Or Boris is saying, okay, well, that's no deal then, we're leaving.
Well, he'll say that, but I think he's going to ask for extension first, and then it'll end up being a no deal.
But then what? What if the EU turn around and say, no, you know, this is fourth deal we've given you, and that's it. Take it or leave it.
Haven't they got that Article 50 thing in place where he has to ask for an extension now? If they can't come to an agreement, he has to ask for extension. And like I said, if EU turn around and say, well, whatever, unlucky, then we're kind of stuffed.
Fucking honestly.
So, Robert Banks, this chart here you sent, this candle, the 30-minute candle, this was a very weak 30-minute candle. It was weak. So when this candle happens, I wouldn't take this as a selling confirmation because it's a weak. Look where it opened and closed, man. It opened and closed at the same area where the previous candle closed. So it's a weak bearish candle. That's it. You know. So you would have needed a stronger one. Plus you were trading in a range where price was ranging before. So that's your mistake. Maybe this. Yeah, maybe this buy would have been better because you have this clean candle here. So maybe you would have waited for a buy to say, okay, now this 30-minute candle closed bullish, so the next one should continue moving since there's clean candle here. So this bearish momentum, this doesn't, it was ranging here.
EJ is really dropping.
Yeah, it looks like your GP is going up. Yeah, look at that. See Robert Banks? Clean candles.
I'm taking my buy stop out.
I'm moving mine.
Man,
Yeah,
I
but
closed.
They've just officially confirmed they're not going to back it. So how can there be positive news now?
You never know. Boris will come and say, no, fuck them.
Come on, you live in the damn country. You know, next 5 minutes, someone's gonna come back and say, yeah, we're fixing that.
No, I agree. It's a tough one now after what I've said, but I'm going to leave it in there just in case.
Gold's going to give us a trade.
Yeah.
News probably like what, I don't know. It might
20 minutes.
14.92.
I think it will reach 95 today.
So, how did you take your buys on gold, Simon? Based on 15 minutes or 5 minutes?
So I was flicking between 15-minute and 5-minute, basically. So you know we broke. So this morning we were talking about 1487 resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we broke into that next zone. Obviously, we spiked all the way to the top, and I was waiting for it to come back down and sort of test that 1487 area. And then if you see on the 5-minute, just on the new 1 hour candle, it kind of created those 2 rejection candles, and then I ended on the next one, basically.
So did you enter at the next 5 minute that closed back in above 1488.8?
Yeah. So it would have been the. I'm just trying to get the time.
I waited for the 5 minute to. So it reversed and I waited to close.
Mm-hmm.
So it closed above that support. Closed above 1488.8, and then I took the buy.
Yeah, so I basically took the buy after. I mean, see the first bullish 5 minute candle, or you know that actually moved. I took it on that candle after those previous 2 that rejected.
Okay. Nice.
Why is someone buying GU right now? Is anyone in a buy on GU? Wow. Oh, I guess we're losing Alex over there.
It was a fake out, coach. It closed back in the range.
Yeah.
And I knew it. G-Cab was going down. I knew I should have.
Yeah, Alex, you even talked about it, that if it comes back down, it's going to be a fake out.
Yeah, you need a bit higher, rakeel.
Yeah.
You had your zone a bit higher, you probably was.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't paying any attention to it at all
Yeah,
either.
and then it retested. Boom.
Hey, Raja, I have a question, sir.
Hey.
This rejection in GJ, like around 140, is this due like that there's no Brexit deal yet?
Yeah, the only way I saw this correction happening was 2 ways, right? One, because we've seen a lot of times whenever there's a big move on Brexit, it always corrects itself, right? That was one of the confidence I had. Second confidence I had was when you remember when these candles were kind of like forming like this to go down and this candle was bearish. That was the second confirmation I had that, okay, like, you know what, this could potentially come down to fill this wick, which would make sense that there's nothing has been signed yet for Brexit, so that move down will be a correction. So yeah, so it was mostly partly based off of that. We've actually seen this exact thing happen like every time.
Like that, mostly partly.
Completely agree. After a huge move due to Brexit or something, it potentially tends to correct it.
Oh yeah, because like so many times, you know, like even when Theresa May was here, Brexit deal has been, you know, potentially reached, and then someone would come in the Congress with papers, no, not today, not today, you know, and it will all just correct itself. So the same
today,
thing.
Mate. We're leaving 225 pips in that wick and 4-hour candle on GJ.
Coach, can somebody tell me the witchcraft of how you can't move like that in London? What witchcraft was that?
What witchcraft are you talking about?
UCAD at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck UCAD did.
What is going on? Like,
oh, I think that was Iran.
Yeah, I think. I thought I was muted. I think oil's playing a big part in UK at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
If they're in London time though, cuz?
well, whenever the news reports come out, I guess.
Anytime, I suppose.
Was there like
It's a nice little break and retail there, coach.
tanker taken hostage or something?
I'd say it was an okay day. Caught a partial GU sell here. That was it. 2 break evens.
Trade's still coming.
Yeah, I might want to try to break even. That's it.
Because if this 1490 area breaks on gold, we're going to 1495. We got news, right? In how long?
15.
15 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Better eyes on gold. Better eyes. Yeah, I think gold is gonna break up to at least 1493 today.
Will those news impact gold a lot?
Yeah, I mean, it's US news, right?
Yeah, it's US news.
Yeah, it looks like this 15 minutes flipping. Fill this wick. Next one. 14. Oh, wow. God damn.
Well, buy stop has officially been removed.
Yeah.
This makes sense, man.
Man.
We should have just been selling that. That's fucking stupid of us.
I closed DJ
Simon,
90 pips
it's
ago.
not stupid. It's only.
It is like all that news that's coming out. It was a sell day. As soon as it broke below that level, we should have known it to be.
Well, I think there would be a sell below 139.227. I think that's where the opportunity was because that broke support. I think now at this point, if you do sell, you're probably selling off to 138.485 or a little bit below that. I like I said, I just can't trust it because I look at my chart right now in front of me, and all I see is the bottom left screen all the way to the top right going up, and this retracement is just it's a huge retracement. Don't get me wrong. I just don't trust GJ. I've been burned too many times with that pair.
If someone got sells at the top there and can stay in and hold them over the weekend, this could be back to like 135 come Monday.
That 4 hour needed on the bottom, it didn't have one.
It'll open with like a 200 pip gap.
All right, Simon's gonna go after that day.
Still going the other way.
But the vote's Saturday. If it doesn't go well, then the whole move's gonna.
Yeah, it's just like I said, the hardest thing for me, what it's always been, has been when my eyes see a move like that, to now turn around and try and take that move. When I've been so biased with just taking buys and waiting for the buys, being more patient with that. That's the hardest thing for me to overcome psychologically, is accepting the fact that we're going to dip like that very hard. Because you're right, Simon. I mean, it made sense based on the news and based on everything coming out. But I just look at my hour chart, and all I see are like a bullish move from like 131 all the way up to like 141. So like for me, this is like how far it dips, it's not going to dip back down the other way, right? Like that's sort of how I look at it. That's the hardest thing as a trader to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it totally made sense. If you did that, you'd be like, yeah, why not?
Go.
Yeah, gold is for
pushing really nice. 1493 is my first target.
Pushing straight into the news though, right? So it could just drop. Because it's at resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll wait. If the news pushes it above 91.75, I'll potentially take a buy on the momentum when it retests that.
The thing is, you're getting conflicting news currently because you've got the Irish Prime Minister saying that that he believes it's a good deal for Northern Ireland and Ireland. Then the people in Parliament are saying they're not going to sign it.
Yeah, I think the people like Jeremy Corbyn will just do anything to vote against Boris, won't it?
That's what I think. But he needs a majority, don't he? So I was trying to look at it that way. And with if the Irish Prime Minister's trying to talk his own people into like voting and stuff, you never know.
Yeah.
Because if he says the deal is difficult with the backstop and this, that, and the other, he's clear and happy with it, then it's kind of a deal done from their side. But it's like his people are not following what he's saying currently. That's going to change in the next hour or two.
Alright, buy stops back in then.
Well, the thing is, literally, it was at 1 o'clock, DUP said they're not going to sign. And then at 1:15, you've got the Prime Minister coming out saying that it is a good deal for Northern Ireland people.
Gold.
So, we never know.
Gold did fill that wick.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it was a good shout that.
Wick fills is so easy.
Yeah, but I mean, it pulled down a bit. If you took it straight on that candle close, you were in some drawdown.
Yeah.
When it created the wick.
Oh, yeah, that was a 5 pips.
No. I mean, if you took it straight off that, like, 30-minute candle.
Oh, yeah.
I think I sent the chat so I want to see if you saw it the same as I did, but I don't know what's gone on the chat.
I've just seen GG, I just came back. And the thing moved down so hard and now it's tracing.
Yeah, hey, people on YouTube, if you guys like the live streams, just hit the like button there, because that means you really like it.
Too.
DJ just did a stop hunt.
Yeah, GJ is a...
So pretty much same.
That stop hunt was my sells.
Broke into that range, then retested it, and then continued.
Yeah.
To fill the range.
What are you guys expecting for gold? Will this news push it up or down?
I don't know.
No.
I don't predict that.
Yeah, it's a fuck up zone, so it could go both ways easily.
I still expecting gold going to 1493 before the news.
Yeah.
It's only 7 minutes. Gonna push hard.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, Joe's saying gold going down. News going to be good for us. I got a call from Trump this morning.
Okay, perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'd be funny. This 4-hour candle flips bearish now.
Yeah, it continues down.
What's next for gold? 1492?
That would be nice to see. 4-hour flipping bearish.
That'd be
If
crazy.
it pushes through the zone, it's going 1510 for sure.
1492, and then what's next? 1495.
Yeah, 1493, fill that wick, and then 1495-ish, 1496.
Yes.
And then it's undone the whole move of the China deal stuff.
Yeah, it's like a perfect mirror.
Oh yeah, this move was from the China deal, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jalil took sells on GJ. Very nice.
Oh wow. Have you seen the figures that are expected for building permits? Someone just put it in the chat. It's crazy.
Oh, I've not looked.
They're expecting minus 26%. the last reading was 8.2%. So
They're expecting minus 26.
yeah, minus 26.
Yeah, that would mean that gold would spike up 15, 20 at least. If it's that.
If they're expecting it, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't play with that one.
Nope, I'm not buy stopping or anything on gold for this. This could be.
No, I'm just going to wait for GJ to go back up the roof. No rush.
Five more minutes.
Simon, I think you're right
What's that?
with GJ. I'm looking at the daily candle now. We've created like a massive zone on the daily candle now on GJ. That pullback, that could be the descent of the century now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at the way, because remember what I talked about earlier this morning, like we were talking about an hour and a half ago, which, you know, what do we need for a drop? We need a huge wick, a bearish body. And now we're getting that on the daily. So now you have this huge rejection area.
Yeah.
One more candle into it, and then that begins the drop.
Where's that's the rejection to our
That can go the same for GCAT, right? Then?
Well, yeah, all GBP pairs, because this was the biggest thing, right? So this is always my telltale sign, is that forming now, right? So that rejection is starting to become scary. If it does hold that rejection, and over the weekend they don't hold it, you're gonna get down to like 137 or something like that.
Yeah, you think about that works out perfectly for the institutions because they've been banking on the optimism and
Yes.
go all the way up, and then
Now they're banking on the negative.
so that now they can make all the money in the opposite way now.
But see, I said yesterday, I think, in the WhatsApp group, I said the deal announcement, we're going to see limited upside because of this huge that we've already had. So, okay, we've got a deal today. I mean, look, it's done. I mean, the candle's bearish at the moment because although they've got a deal, it sounds like no one's going to approve it, so it's worthless.
Yeah, it's almost like a win-win for the institution because they can buy on the optimism and sell real news.
Yeah, so if that holds, ooh, that's a deadly, deadly drop. Because now, think about it. The only thing that's going to push this candle up now is going to be optimism or some news report. The fact, because now we think logically, right? So if you want to think just straight logic, where are all these orders going now?
Yeah, that's a scary, because you said it's now we've got back into what we class as a normal zone. It's
Right.
Normal zone. So
Right, because effectively we had orders here that drove up from 138 to 141. That's a huge push, right? When we think about it. Now you have orders at 141 that have failed. Are we now dropping back down into like the 138, 137 area? Right? That's sort of now you're at a crossroads. Now GJ becomes very, very scary to trade.
Yeah, I think it's more concentrating on the 4 hours and stuff now.
Yeah. So now this to me is very scary. Now I leave GJ. This was the fun part. This is now become death. This will blow lots of accounts. Mark my words. Because people are going to be trying to buy, sell, and it's the institutions are playing a game now. So just be very careful with GJ. I've officially given you my weather report. GJ, bye-bye. Do not touch GJ right now.
Droppy seas ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't like.
I hope you're one of the true meteorologists that say the truth.
Yeah, you just have to look. Like you have this huge push up, and now this whole candle has flipped. Like what the hell's going on? And now it just bounced up again. Like it's.
Watch that candle, daily candle closed like a doji probably.
Yeah, it's scary. Holy
3, 2, 1.
There goes news. Go.
1492. No. Yes. No. No.
Gold, yes, I closed my first one. The other one is break even. Let's see. We reached 1493.
Yeah, well.
It's going.
That's enough.
Oh, 1492.
now back up again.
This.
There we go. 1493.
Yes.
Next up, 1495.
No,
Oh, 1493.
Yeah, that's great.
Next up, 1495.
I like it.
Yes, that was a nice trade.
Gold was a rocket.
Yes. Bless. Pullback. Yes, now we're gonna have a small pullback.
See, the only thing with GJ right now, I see it's just trying to create this 50 pip range here. And it might just range here for till London close. This is a hard support.
I believe with Simon right now that the move is starting for the descent. I have a feeling that we're going to see a massive correction down to 138, 137.
It makes sense if you think about the institution that they would do.
Yeah, it just right now, like GJ is very, very scary because if Simon's right and nobody's going to be, you know, if nobody's going to be voting on GJ to do like or on the pound or like on Brexit, they're not voting on that, this is the descent. And what Simon said is correct. The institutions have pegged their orders at 141, and they're like, we're getting out of Dodge.
Just makes sense when you look at it that way. Yeah.
Especially if all the news articles are coming out saying that they're not accepting anything. Yeah, I'm very scared for GJ right now. So.
If this drops, then that's right. 137.500 makes sense on the 4 hour as well.
Yeah, it's a pullback on gold. I hope everybody close. If anybody wasn't buys.
It's been only 2 minutes. So wait.
Yeah, but now we're gonna have maybe a pullback 1489.
Yeah, maybe even more. Maybe it'll jump now.
I mean, the news was good, but so it should come down.
Why is anyone trading gold when we're at resistance?
Gold is stuck in that range right now.
Yeah, gold's been stuck in a range between 1491 and 1484. We said that earlier.
Yeah.
Once you get to 1491, you got to get out. Like you can't hold that.
No, that's going to get automatic rejection.
Yeah. Gold's been a scary trade all day. I wouldn't have touched gold, and I said that once it got to 1491, 1492, you got to get out because that's a huge resistance.
Yeah.
We said that all morning. GJ's just get dumped.
GJ's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm not touching GJ with a 10-foot pole. Fuck that shit. These guys are being stupid.
I make coffee.
It is so damn scary.
Yeah, it's good to just let the weekend play out, I think. Because there's so much conflicting news right now as well. But like Simon said, the main bias of it's like it's not going to get dealt with.
I don't understand why gold went up. I'm just trying to figure this out.
It's not that first 15-minute move earlier. I didn't get that at all.
I think it's
more much more.
just the institutions chucking everyone out, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just continuing the bullish move to go down.
I think this is going to drop.
Just a little liquidity grab.
Yeah, we got more news at 9:30. Wow. No.
man. Today is just a shit show.
Maybe we are waiting for something to happen. Or it happened already in London and it won't move.
Wait till it will. We have 3 days in a row at the same trade, so.
I've just done a retest to go up. What the fuck? Why is it going up? Screw this.
It's not going up. It just keeps bouncing in that zone. Yeah, it's a liquidity grab on the top side.
Yeah.
I'm just not touching anything. I'm going to the gym. Screw this shit. this is nasty. GJ's dropping now to 138,400. Holy fuck. And Black Box is crushing life right now. It's like he took sells from like 141.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. More than likely, yeah, he's up a truckload or something like that. He's just
hold them going into the weekend.
Yeah, he's basically, he does what I did. He's been on mute, sitting on the other side, going, "These assholes are trying to buy GJ." He's like, "I've been selling the shit out of it."
4-hour week.
Oh god, GJ's just dying. If GJ corrects this move, it's going down to 137,600. I could see 137,600 or 138 at least. Yeah, 137,600. We could drop into. Holy cow! Well, good luck to everybody.
It's rejected off that flash crash week top. You know, where we met on the monthly.
Yeah. Well, the 15-minute is bouncing in that range. So the 15-minute candle and the 30-minute candle have to reject. If the 30-minute candle bounces down hard now, then we have a full drop into 138 easy. Like all the way down to like 138, 100. If we get a huge, if this isn't rejection, and it's still dropping, then it's gonna be nastier.
That's gonna end live, I think.
It is actually. It's gonna be very, very gross.
Hope people were taking profits on the way up.
Oh, Neon's back. We're gonna put you in timeout because could you just make random comments?
How long's time
300 seconds. It's just I know the users, they just pop in and out just to like say something and have clout, and then they leave again. Like it's just annoying. Like you should try and just show up and actually provide value and show charts instead of, or sit quietly too. I appreciate all 996 people in the chat. You don't have to, like sort of say hi or what's going on. You can just sit silently. It's okay. We still see you. Don't worry. Boris is speaking now. Oh boy.
There goes gold. Come on. Give me a sell like that.
that Simon was waiting for.
Yeah, I am about 8 pips deep at the moment. Go on, gold. You can do it. Go on. 4-hour flip bearish. This is going to be awesome. Come on.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Simon.
I was just like looking at the news. I was like, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to go up. This is like positive news, but and we're at strong resistance, so it kind of filled that zone. Okay, so yeah, we should go down.
That's good work, bud. Nice. Where did you take your entries?
14, 90, 82.
Nice.
I love Forex Factory. The key headlines right now. 5:35, 3 hours ago, we've got a great deal that takes back control. 5:30, a deal has been done. 7 o'clock, the UP will not vote for PM Johnson's Brexit deal. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's what I've got. Yes, exactly the same.
The top three, yeah, the top 3 comments.
Now we've just had someone from the EU, young bloke, the commissioner. He's just said some good stuff about it. Literally just now. Oh, and the Latvian Prime Minister's backed everything as well. Which is quite cool. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling something's going to change. That's a hell of a trade, Simon.
Dying, right?
Yeah, great effort, mate.
Set some sell stops. It was really easy.
Just listening to Boris.
Yeah.
Very good. But it's fine. Okay, send the link.
Back to 141, 500, yeah.
Gold came right back. I wonder who's winning the elections in Canada.
It's a tie, NDP or Conservative and Liberal. The tie right now, deadlock.
Oh, I want to vote for the one who's winning.
You don't want to vote for either of them.
Drake should go for president in Canada.
Yeah, I think he will win.
So is that Trudeau? Is it? Is he like running for re-election?
Yeah.
That guy's a bum. You know who should be? You know who should be the American president? The Rock. I would love The Rock to be the American.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, right. Why not LeBron James?
Ew, bro, no. I'd rather Michelle Obama than LeBron James.
Oh shit.
I wish Michelle Obama was the first woman
She's in
We have
town.
Prime Minister.
She's in a smart house.
No Obama.
We'll start negotiations on future relationship. Man, this Brexit is a proper mess.
Yeah, just when you think it's about to be over, I think we're a long way off yet.
Yeah, it's not gonna get done. 31st October, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought like with the deal, and then I thought, yes, finally, it's over. But it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, someone's there making a lot of money on these moves, and they don't want it to end.
I mean, I don't blame Bojo. Like,
Advanced polls are up. Perfect. I'll go vote today. Hey Alex, you're right about the break and retest on USD CAD. That retest at 31800. Oh, finally someone sent a chart. Let's see here. Arrow going up, arrow going down with a question mark. Nice. I guess you're looking for this is wait, what? TP2 is up here and TP1 is down here. Yeah, I think your better opportunity to sell gold would be below 1487. Because remember this morning when this 30-minute candle was below 1487, we were like, yeah, it's going to do a retest and head down. That's where I took a gold sell, ended up at break even. So that would be a better selling opportunity, a break below 1487, because then you know that there's a low at 1483. So you want a candle break below 1487. First one, 13 pips away, 13, 20, 35. Where could you take a look at the actual strength of currency? You showed something, I forgot. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'll show it here. It's the Chinese indicator. This one right here. See, it says USD weak, which means gold should go up, right? But when we look at gold, gold is bearish currently. And it's back in that range now. Look at that dirty range on the 30 minute. This is the dirty range on the 30 minute. The dirty 30. So either you want a trade down here or you want a trade up over here. This is the dirty 30 right here. This is just ranging. This is good. Drawing boxes. Pick this up from Ted. Oh yeah, just trade over here or trade over there, and which makes sense.
I mean, I always look at it as like you don't have to try and be ultimately right and call these magical levels. You just look at what makes sense. I mean, it's just so straightforward. It's like I don't understand why people bash, this simple idea. It's like, hey, we go above here, we're going back up. We go over here, we're going back down. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, why do I have to be 100% certain that we're going either in this right here? Like, I'm 100% that we're moving here. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's stupid. It's such an ego move to try and say, oh yeah, well, 100% we're going up here. Like, it's not. It's you plan accordingly, and you take the best opportunity. I mean, that's how trading works. People are stupid. They just want to trade for ego, and it's like, I'd rather just trade for money. Like, you know. Posting a chart is as simple as this. There you go. Why do IG traders trade US 30? I don't know. Why don't you ask them? Your only job in trading is to find profitable opportunities. That's your only thing that you should be worried about in trading. Everything else is noise. How much you make, what you're doing, how you're doing it, doesn't matter. If you find a profitable opportunity and you're able to exploit it and you're profitable, that's all that matters, and that's all you should really care about. People are not stupid. Your ego is big. Well, no, people's egos are big because they want to just be able to say, hey, I guess I said that this was going to happen. It's like, you don't have to do that. Like, as long as you're profitable, that's all that matters. You know, like, it's great when we have the right answer. And, you know, it's great when we're able to figure out what's going on. But, man, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to turn around and just do the right thing. Who is vaping? I don't know.
It's me.
Oh, okay.
Is it too much? Do I need to mute the mic if it's too loud?
I guess someone heard you.
But it isn't for you. You don't hear it.
Oh, I hear it. I don't care.
If it bothers someone, just say it. I don't want to stop.
Gold, do you think my take profit is achievable? Well, I think your stop is an incorrect place for that to be achievable, because you're missing a whole part of that range with gold there. And what you're banking on is you're banking on the fact that this is the beginning of the descent, and the 30-minute candle, I don't think, has enough information on you to validate that descent for gold. So yeah, this is the chart that I was looking at. First of all, your stop has to be above this. That's the first thing, because at any given time, price can return into this area. The second thing is it's only a 30-minute candle, so we don't know if that's accurate. And one candle here is not enough confirmation to say that we're heading down. So that's what I'd be aware of. But this target could be achievable. But what I'd be aware of is basically this. You have this rejection right here and the ascent pushing up. I wouldn't be concerned about the candle beside it. I'd be worried about where we rejected last and ascended. So that means to me, if this price was to come down, if we were to come down, we may only come down to say like right about here. So like if you turn around and you draw a magical trend line, that's what probably it'll look like, right? Just because what I'm doing is I'm visualizing why did this area here hit and why did it not go here the first time, right? It's because it was on its way up. So if you look and you want to get a little bit more information, the idea here is visualization and looking to the future. So you had basically this, it's not a good color. Oh, I need a better color. So you have this drop here, then we have this push up here, then we have this drop here, then we have this push here. So why would we come back down here? Why would we come back down here? Wouldn't it make sense just to come back over to here on the idea that we would continue up, right? So if you think about this and you look logically, the idea here is, I wish I could use a better color, that you have basically a step. That you have a step here, you have a step here, and then potentially like a step here, right? So as we start to ascend, that's sort of what could happen. Obviously, if we get fundamental news, this will push right through that, and we'll probably come over to here. But it's just something to be aware of as you're trading that pair. Like, why are we stopping here? That's where I'd be most concerned, right? Because you can see as you go left, you have all that traffic, and that's the reason. So you might only get maybe just to this level, right? So that might just drop to maybe 1486 or 1487 and then pull up. So that it's just something to keep in mind when you look at the trade. I believe this move down happened with GJ. Okay, so I mean, all you're doing is you're expecting the zone to drop, but this GJ move, I mean, once again, you have to understand that this doesn't really help you because you're not visualizing. Like, you're just drawing a line. And I don't like when people just draw lines because it doesn't necessarily help you. Because I don't know how those candles are going to react and what the overall idea is going to be at that point. And because this 30-minute candle right now is creating rejection, and there's another 30-minute candle that's starting to move up a little bit more.
For GJ to break below this area, 138,500, it's going to require a lot of...
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement on that. It would have to break hard. It doesn't look like it's starting to... It looks like it's holding resistance at like 139,200. There's resistance being held there, and then if we do break down, then yes, I agree that we'll push, but I still think it's a little too early to say where we're pushing down to. Because the section over here, this section hasn't even broken. You need to break that section first. And to be honest, having candles forming like this doesn't support the move down. What I would have rather seen is something like this, right? You see these candles doing this. Now that this candle's rejecting, I mean, you hope that the next candle, the next 30-minute candle basically barrels down. But then even then you want a little bit more, you want something that looks like that. You want a rejection candle or something that rejects a little bit more, that's all. I mean, is it possible? Of course, if there's no deal and everyone's saying that it's bad news, then yeah, it'll drop, but it's just, you need the proper formation of the candles for rejection. I think that's what we're missing there. Mario Lewis, there's an IG page called Forex Family Scams. Yes, there's lots of IG pages with my name on them because I'm very popular with a lot of people who hate me. Yeah, so I mean, it's lots of people are angry at me for being successful. That's just part of life, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to report it and say that it's wrong, I mean, you can do that too. That'll help maybe remove the page. But Instagram doesn't really care, so I think. If Instagram doesn't care, I sort of say, why should I care, right?
And seriously, Ted, I don't think they hate you because just the fact you are a successful trader, but because you never lost your soul. You know, even though you're a millionaire, you don't have the necessity to share with us your point of view with these charts. But you spend time with us, and you don't need this, and you don't charge, and that's the fact they hate, that you don't charge for your knowledge. You get it for free. In the meantime, they charging $300 per month just to get signals, and you know, people sometimes they don't realize that they are just getting spoon fed. I mean, and giving knowledge. You're creating traders that in the, let's say, the next year you don't want to do this anymore, but everyone that is looking and watching of these streamings, we're gonna be completely aware of the moves and what to expect, where to enter, where to put the stop losses, because we're learning the right way. We're not just getting signal from somebody
and that's
Oh yeah. No, I know. It's just funny when I see stuff like that. That's all. There goes GJ.
GJ is pushing, yeah.
Somebody said something.
Yeah, they're announcing the deal in Brussels right now. I'm not sure. I think the main reason it come down because of the news and what's been said, but that 4 hour candle had no wick at all for ages, and it had to have something. But I'm just not convinced we're going down right now. I see what you're saying about the wick off that weekly zone and stuff, which is important, but for a continued move yet, I'm just not quite convinced. Well, not enough to make trades yet, anyway. Just there seems to be an awful lot of positivity with what's being said. There's only just this handful of bad news.
Yep.
And that handful is what people are kind of sticking with. So also they had to vote also to sit in the Commons on Saturday, which is never done, and they've actually voted with a majority to say that they will sit. It's very close, but just to get that confidence that people would sit and vote on it. That's another, because they didn't have to, you see.
Man, GJ just did a nasty stop on us, looking like.
Yeah, it's in a bad area now.
Yeah.
Yeah, very messy day today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, could easily got caught down massively today.
Man, gold's all over the show at the moment.
Everything's all over everywhere.
Down, up, down, up.
The move is going to happen now, I think. New York Stock Open.
Now GJ's coming right back down again. This is awesome.
Like you said, it's just
stopped everybody out and
literally what comes out of people's mouth, and it's happening minute by minute. Like on the feed I've got, it's literally 3 minutes ago.
So if you look at the hourly chart on GJ now, that is very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just created a huge top wick, which matched up with a zone on the hourly with GJ, and now it looks like the descent is about to start.
That was the opportunity for yours in drawdown to get out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Gave you one exit.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you guys want to just jump out for a bit? It just, because that 1 hour candle now, that wick should get filled. If this upper wick, like this is the upper wick to the new hour candle right now. If that turns around and now, if it's right, like if Raja, can you go to the hour chart? Because this now matches up like with this candle right over here as a rejection. So if it does start to drop, we're going to fill that area 100%.
Yeah, I see or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That would make sense too, because yeah, you're right about this area here to your left-hand side, but then at the same time, the previous 30-minute candle closed with no wick on the top.
Yeah.
Which
booby trap.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna go down. Hey, Gartik, are you in the stream? Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
Looks like I'll have to go to the gym without Gartik today. What is a booby trap? There we go. Way to go opening up the can of worms, Dan.
Sorry. It's basically it's a trap, right? Like here, this pull up, right? It just came out of nowhere, so it looks like a trap because now the trend we see that the trend is going down, and you have a one random candle like here, one random candle out of nowhere goes the opposite way. That's a trap. So all we did was we called it a booby trap because a booby trap back in the olden days or any days that you did and you watched cartoons, you stepped on something and you fell through it. It was a trap. So we call it a booby trap. That's all.
Like the girls.
Right? Because you took a buy here on the anticipation that we were going to go up, and it's like, no, booby trap. You got sucked into it. That's what a booby trap is.
Yep.
Gold is so fucked.
It's all over, isn't it? It's got literally everywhere.
I mean,
a mess.
Maybe
if these candles continue to close below 1490, then I think it should fall more. But
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Euro USD. Jan, I think your take profit should be somewhere over here instead of all the way up there. I mean this should be your safe take profit.
Yeah, I've just it's just the wrong setting in the trading view. I've messed it up. My take profit is 11,360.
Nice.
So it's about 20 pips.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just making sure.
It's just the 4 hour candle is just creating the wick now. That's what I forgot.
Yeah, I'd wait for another because like, does EU look like EJ right now? Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be cautious about the buys.
Yo, who's eating that?
Anyone doing
Banhammer. That's Banhammer.
I'm expecting a big push at GG now.
But do you feel it?
It's not
Do you
moving at all.
That wick fill is about 62 pips. 1 hour.
Oh well, not to make any trades today. I do fancy that GJ Wick, to be fair, but just not keen.
Is that your entry point? Which, this yellow line? This yellow line is just to indicate that this is a strong 4 hour. Because look, the 4 hour candle came down and rejected it. The next 4 hour candle came down. The next 4 hour candle did a big fuckery actually and came down and rejected it. So this is a strong level in the 4 hour. So now you see it's falling. We're coming down here slowly. If you entered, you would have been up 10 pips. Right now. Oh, this goes 2 more pips. Oh shit, 4 more pips. Oh,
I think he's gonna jump hard now.
Let's go in. Let's go in. Man, if people come on this stream with the idea of talking about random stuff other than making money, you're just wasting your time.
I keep trying to tell people this, and they think that I'm getting mad. It's just, I can't believe there's only so many hours in a day that we stream. There's only so many minutes, and people ask questions that really have no bearing on their trading. And then they're like, oh, you're getting upset. It's like, yeah, because like, why would you want to waste your time? Well, I don't think it's a waste of time. Really? So how much is gas prices today? I don't know. I drive a Tesla. Well, don't you know? Why would I need to know what gas prices are? I never have to fill up my car. It's a waste of my time. Ask me what electricity prices are. I can tell you, it's free.
Or the price of tomatoes, like seriously.
Yeah, but it's just I'm trying to reprogram people to focus and get so focused in on improving themselves, but then they go off into these spatial realms about, you know, their favorite foods, or, you know, like, what do you think about this person? What about that? And it's just like, man, you guys lose focus so fast on, and it's like, you want to be good at something, but you're worried about everything else other than yourself. And it's just, it's just scary, because it's like, I want people to succeed, but when I see the way that they come to the stream or the way they ask questions, I already know you're going to fail. And you can argue with me all you want, but I've taught thousands of people, and the people that have succeeded do not have your characteristics. The people who are not on Instagram anymore, or the people that are working in silence, they've never once asked, what do you think about this person? What do you think about that person? All they've done is, Ted, here's my chart. Am I doing something right or wrong? Ted, I got this losing trade. How do I correct this? Ted. That's all they were doing, is focusing on how they can improve themselves. The people that have never improved are, so I was working with this guy and he took $200 from me and he scammed me. Like, did you not know he was a scam? Like, how would I have been able to avoid this? And it's like, but why were you working with him? Well, you know, everybody else was. And it's like, but what about you? Oh, I don't know. And that's, you know, you turn around and when you look at that, I don't get angry at you. I get angry at your thought process, because it's like, I know you want to succeed. Nobody comes here not wanting to succeed, but you're so focused on the wrong things that are not going to benefit what you're going to do. And that's where I get frustrated, because it's like, man, the effort you spent trying to formulate a question about something that doesn't matter could have been formulated on something that does matter for you directly. That's really what it comes down to, and you know, you can take it for whatever you want, but the idea is really take advantage of the stream to focus on yourself and be selfish. And asking opinions about what we think about everybody else and where's this person or what happened to that person isn't going to help you. Like, I know you think it's going to, but it's not. Like, that's like asking, oh, what's your brother doing today? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not focused on that. Right? But like, you know, like what benefit does it give you? Like, and if you can give me a concise reason why you need to focus on somebody else, and it's a valid reason, and we can examine it and see an argument that presents facts that, hey, if I focus on this other person who doesn't know me, they've made me a better person, then I will respectfully apologize to you. But there's never been an instance where someone's been able to provide me a valid argument to say, hey, I focused on this person's life and I read all about them, and now it's allowed me to be better. You know, like, because nobody knows everyone's full life. That's the thing. Yeah, you should get a simulator if you want to practice simulation. It does make sense. Thoughts on you, Jay? Show a chart, so you now get put in timeout because you've been here long enough. Yeah, well, it's just, once again, you come out and say things. If I recognize your username, I recognize a lot of people's username, I ban you. I give you a timeout right away. I know a lot of usernames here. I have an elephant memory, so.
I have a question about what we're looking at right now. Okay, so because we have this huge momentum, this bearish momentum on GJ, now what I'm looking at is these wicks from this long bearish candlestick. I think I can draw it here. from here, and then we have this thing here, and then we have that coming up. Now, I'm thinking, I don't believe we're going to go up, but the wicks are saying otherwise. What's your take on that?
So here's your situation that you're in. We had this huge downside movement, right? And now what's happening is this, to then do that. So if you see what's happening, essentially we rejected all those orders, and when we look on the higher time frames, we were able to look at what, obviously you had all this momentum. We basically hit a major support, which Mr. Rajabanks has pointed out. The issue now becomes what's going to be the catalyst to break through that support. And right now,
great. You just great. That's great. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear catalyst because that's what I was thinking. I just wanted somebody to say otherwise.
Well, it's because think about it this way, right? Like if once we hit this 4-hour support, essentially it's a major level because we can see over here we had a lot of rejection again. So it's just not going to break right away. And this is the issues when you look at this kind of candle movement here, right? When we look at the hour candle movement, you might find that we bounce down and we hit this support, but we don't break it. And then what ends up happening is you then bounce up again. But it doesn't mean that it's a buy, right? The thing is you would look to the left over here as an example, right? We bounce down, we hit it, and then it's only a buy like once we get over here. Like you can see the candles are struggling over here. So now when you come over to this side, you're going to get a similar idea because we're at the similar price area. Now, if we do have a push up, there's going to be something related to fundamentals about Brexit that's going to drive us all the way back up again. Because right now, Simon was saying, and also Chris was saying, there's a lot of hesitation right now, and that's what made this drop happen. So it's just we're playing the range game right now.
Okay. Because I would say essentially it's probably just taking a breather right now, and we're just, like you said, we're just hesitating. So that's why I was thinking like there has to be a catalyst for it to bring it back down. But
that's
it's, like you said, some type of news were to just all of a sudden say, hey, there was a deal with Brexit by some random, and then it just shoots back up.
Or something. I mean, it's still going on right now, so you're getting updates every couple of minutes about what's happening. So
because I mean, what was it? The Forex factory was giving those articles every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then price reacted accordingly. So I'm just keeping a watch on this, whether or not it's going to go up or not. But I don't think it's going to go up because of the bearish momentum. But then the price actually is telling me something different. But the explanation what you just provided kind of has me in the middle really, because I'm not going to say it's going to go up or it's going to go down. I just want to see what's going to happen, and it gives clues of what direction it's going to be, giving it if there's a catalyst for that.
The daily candle is at a very scary point. That's the problem right now. I think if we get a move,
for sure.
If we get a move, you can go either direction at this point, and I think that's what the institutions have set up. Is the institutions have set up a move for either direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's a huge rejection around 139.43. I mean, based on my chart, I'm pretty sure you guys have the same thing.
Yep.
And it has
141.
Yeah, 141, and it hasn't even moved. It's just whipsaw and then just stagnation really. So there's obviously some type of anticipation for something to to happen. Really. So okay. Thanks for the idea or clarification rather.
And everyone keeps screaming about gold. Gold hasn't done anything. It's still stuck at 1491.
Yeah, of course.
Like you're at a range on the 4 hour. I told you 1491, 1492 is resistance. You have to break through that, and we need a proper structure to break through that. People keep saying because gold rips up 5 or 10 pips that now it's moving. It's not. You have to look at where we're at. We're at a major resistance area. So you need candles to break that resistance to push through up. right now, we're Thursday. It looks like it's just a shit show. So just be careful and manage your trades. I haven't taken a trade yet. I can't find anything.
I have a buy stop on GJ in case if it's, I don't know, flips fast.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I had a buy stop too. I just removed it, so I'm gonna make. I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna do anything right now. Just start.
Yeah.
The only trade really was that one that Simon did earlier on gold. That was a good shout.
All right, we're getting some charts in, so hopefully Raja will put them up. I can't look at your charts until Raja looks at them, so we'll wait. He will help us. Streams are Monday to Friday. So tomorrow being Friday, we will be streaming. We will wait for Raja to come back, and he will help us open up charts, and we will look. We're in the queue.
GJ seems to be in more of a support than resistance.
Yep. It's at a range. I think at this point you have to sit back and let it make its decision.
Okay, Peter sent a chart.
Yep. Eugene sent a chart. Chakra sent a chart. Got lots of charts coming in.
Hey Peter, this chart it's not labeled, so I'm not sure what you want to look at.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to go send you the wrong picture.
Oh.
Simon, are you still there?
Yeah.
Right, do you know much about the Article 50 extension?
No.
Right, that's alright. It's just they've just basically said they've ruled it out completely. So now there's a deal in place, they don't need it. I was under the impression the Article 50 extension was if they can't make a deal, then they would have to ask for an extension, if that makes sense. Like the promise would be made to ask for an extension from the EU, but the EU have now said because they've got a deal in place, then they're going to abolish that rule. So I didn't know how that. I wasn't sure if that was just reading about it. It's just come out and said they're going to bang it out completely.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about Article 50 extension.
Yeah.
If price breaks above resistance, push up to fill this wick. This wick. Yeah. So you're looking for buys then. So you're waiting for a price to break above. Longer wait, better trade.
You might get a gold buy here. This 1 hour closes above this resistance. The new it's the 4 hour close as well. 35 minutes. Could push all the way to like 40.96.
We got news coming out at 9:30 also. So
okay.
This might be to break that range.
Oh, 5 minutes news, yeah.
That could be that catalyst we're looking for.
I never seen jobless claims at 9:30 before. Usually it's at 8:30.
Yeah, Simon, you're right with this.
Yeah, exactly, Rakeel, yeah.
This is going to be pretty interesting.
Okay, what to do now? Wait 4 minutes and then gonna head off to the gym.
Hey, Rakeel, what's going on?
Hey, Gartek. Was looking for you earlier. Couldn't find you here. I think the main moves were gold buys and GJ sells. Those were the main moves. These GJ
I just saw momentum was good.
yeah. These GJ sells started from here. Boom, boom, boom. Caught a portion of that move. Raja, do you use soft FX? Eugene Lim, you have seen my videos and you still ask that question. Yes. Chart is there 6 tabs.
Very similar later, in my opinion.
Take care.
Take care. I'm about to leave after this also.
Yeah, let's see what this news does.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
3 minutes.
Mr. Kushal Acharya. Yeah, your things are correct. When I see a chart and I don't comment on it, that means that chart is like, I think it's correct. Someone asked, what news? It's.
If you don't see news, then you shouldn't be trading.
Yeah, yes.
What news are you guys looking at? There's no news.
Initial jobless claims I'm seeing. It's high impact on the MyFX book.
Oh, that's a glitch. I think. I don't know. Oh, really? Because I don't see it. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see it either on Forex Factory.
I see it now on my FX book.
That's why I stick to my FX book, because they always have all the good news on there.
They got the good.
Yeah.
Support broken and being used as retest for a downward move. GJ wicks to fill here. Perfect. One thing I've learned in trading is to never let a profitable position go in drawdown. That's the most important thing I have really came to, peace with. Closing a trade at break even is way less stressful than being in a drawdown. Trust me. Because once you're at break even and you close it, you're done with that trade. Your relationship has ended. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to stress about it. There's no anxiety about it. But when you're in drawdown, then you're just stuck. Then you're just looking at the charts. You just like, it's bad overall.
Anxiety.
Yeah. What is your bias on GJ? Sorry, I just took the live. Well, Josias Kier, I think you're late today. Yeah, GJ is just gonna probably range here till London close. Oh, here comes the news. Closed below resistance here. Technically shouldn't go up. It's paused. Simon, do you see it? It's paused.
Yeah.
Dud.
It's paused. Literally nothing.
Dud.
Nothing moved.
Oh.
Look at that 5-minute candle.
I'm refreshing the screen to see what the news is.
Did it even come out? The news?
Yeah, look, it moved nothing.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, it's moving. Oh shit, it's moving now.
It looks like the news just dropped. I'm
Late.
refreshing the screen and I can't see if it's good or bad, but it looks like it's bad the way it's
Gold's going up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's back down again.
They removed it. It was nothing.
Yeah, hardly moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still below resistance here. Oh my god, initial jobless claims came out an hour ago. Yes.
Huh?
Huh? What?
No, I had it at 2:30.
Yep. So.
Stocks open up high after Netflix surge on earnings. Brexit deal is reached.
Brexit deal.
Some gold should go down.
I don't know what the fuck is going on today.
I'm losing brain cells. Guys, look up my FX book. Oh yeah, he's right. Initial jobless claims came out an hour ago. That's
So
a
why they
glitch.
have it?
Other ones, I've got it. Oh yeah, I've got it twice.
That's a
Yeah,
glitch.
Because remember I said that. I'm like, why is it like at 9:30?
Oh,
Wow.
it's been there twice. That's weird.
Analysis has failed. Analysis failed. All right, everybody. I'm gonna head off.
Take care, Raquel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym.
Take it easy.
Take it
Good
easy.
night, guys.
Take care. Say it is here.
All right, later, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
Do you trade indexes like
Mr.
S&P?
Trump is calling.
No, not really.
Yeah,
Hold the line. Trump's on the phone.
Hold on.
Trump's on the line.
Okay.
See you later.
What's Trump saying? Buy or sell?
Sell?
Buy USR.
Oh.
All right, guys. Later, man. The trading day is over. It's gonna be a dead day.
Yeah, okay, Kevon. Take care, buddy.
All right.